In this video, I will be showing you how to find the inverse of a function. So essentially, to find the inverse of a function, you would take this example of a function. So f of x is equal to, let's say, x. And to find the inverse, you would essentially swap the x and y values. So wherever the x was in one side of the equation, you would put y in its place, and then on the other side you would put, instead of y, you would put x in y's place. So f of x is just y. So in this example, it's just y equals x. And to find the inverse of this, it would be, you would have to, so you have y equals x. To find the inverse, you would have to switch the values. And then your inverse will be x equals y. And that's still the same equation, but you get the idea. We're just swapping the x values and the y values. So our answer will be f of minus 1x. So f minus 1x is equal to x. And this here is f of minus 1 here. This is how we write inverse. So now let's take an actual example. So we'll start with a simple one, which will just be f of x is equal to 4x minus 6. Now, instead of f of x, let's substitute our y value to make it a little easier to understand, a little bit more easy to understand. So y equals 4x minus 6, and now we switch x and y and x. So that means we get x is equal to 4y minus 6, and then we solve for y. So now once you come to this swapped equation, or the inverse equation, you solve for y. And you would get, let's isolate our y, so we'll do plus 6 plus 6. So then it'll result in x plus 6 is equal to 4y. And then let's isolate y again. So divide by 4, divide by 4. So that means y is equal to x plus 6 over 4. And instead of y, we would have, our final equation would look like f of minus 1x is equal to x plus 6 over 4. And the reason we did this and we put f of minus 1x instead of y is because this tells us that this is the inverse. So that's how you would solve. So the first step would be to take your original equation, and instead of f of x, you put y. Then you switch the x and y values. And then once you get the inverse equation, you solve for y. And then you isolate until you get your final answer. Let's look at another one. So let's just start with f of x is equal to, it's a little bit more tricky, x cubed plus 8. Now, immediately, let's go ahead and substitute our y to make it easier. So y is equal to x cubed plus 8. And then now we switch our values. So now this will become x is equal to y cubed plus 8. Is equal to y cubed plus 8. Now we solve for y. And now we'll subtract 8 from both sides. So then we get x minus 8 is equal to y cubed. And now we have to isolate y even further. So we would cube root both sides. So this will cancel and this will cancel. So now you have y is equal to cube root of x minus 8. And then we can substitute in, we can't cancel out that 8 because it's negative 8. And we, instead of our y, we put our inverse symbol. So f of minus 1x is equal to cube root of x minus 8. And that will be our final answer. So now let's look at one final example. Let's take the example f of x is equal to 3x plus 9. Now, we set up our equation, so y is equal to 3x plus 9. Then we swap, so we get x is equal to 3y plus 9. And then we solve for y. So now we subtract 9 from both sides, so we get x minus 9 is equal to 3y. And once this happens, you isolate y. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So then your final answer, then you would get y is equal to x minus 9 over 3. And then you can simplify this a little further and get equal to x minus x over 3 minus here x over 3 minus 3. So then this will be your final answer. So then you go ahead and set up the equation. F of minus 1x is equal to x over 3 minus 3. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch out for future videos. Thank you.